Hey, it's Glenys here. I've been doing a few workshops, practical workshops with students, and one of the things that we do is lunging. Okay, so excuse me while I just get my props here. There's quite a few things that go wrong. You know, students come in, they're used to lunging their horses, they keep lunging their horses, but they're doing it wrong. So I'm going to talk to you about some of the things that go wrong at the moment. And by the way, I'm from Horse Chats. If you're wanting to have a listen to any equine industry experts, there's lots and lots of experts there, and I'm sure you'll find one that suits your particular equine interest. And also too, if you want to enroll or have a career with horses, have a look at the courses on International Horse College. Anyway, within the courses we do practical workshops, and within the practical workshops we do some lunging, and these are some of the things that I find are going wrong with students. So first of all, if we talk about a triangle and an isosceles triangle, we need to make sure that there's an equal distance between the front of the horse and the back of the horse. So we have our lunge line and our whip a bit like this, okay, equal distance. And sometimes the student gets a little bit in front of the horse, okay, so if the horse gets a little bit, oh, what's going on there? The horse might turn in, have a look, get a little bit confused, and then stop. And then as they stop, they turn around, they might turn around, change direction, which if you're lunging a ride is going to be quite unseating for a rider, particularly a beginner rider. If you get a bit behind the horse, that can be just as bad, because you get a young horse or a fresh horse or a green horse, they get a little bit worried about someone behind and they might kick out at the rider. Okay, so that's quite important. Another one that's probably not quite as bad is the handler is a bit like this. See how we're not quite parallel, or a bit like this, and it sort of like precedes the getting in front and getting behind. My shoulders should be level with the horse's hip and shoulder. Okay, so that's the way that should happen. The next thing is the hands. Sometimes the handler's hands are up here and, you know, waving the whip around and a bit not quite sure, you know, not quite as soft and as quiet as what they need to be. And if they go and lunge horses all day, which they may have in a job, the hands are going to get quite tired. So keep your hands down and quiet, relax with your elbow, straight line, elbow through the handset a bit, the same as you would when you're riding. After that, we've got the triangle, the isosceles triangle, so the two equal sides. We've got the shoulders, we've got the hands. Then we've got the handling of the lunge line. So the handling of the lunge line should have big loops, okay? So you look here, we've got some big loops there. It shouldn't be below your knee. So you should be able to just rest your elbow here, straight line towards the horse's tail, and just big loops, or if you want to fold it, that's absolutely fine. What we don't want is tiny little loops a bit like this, and they get all scrunched up and mucked up and everything else, and it becomes dangerous and they can get tangled up in your hands. If you're not familiar with it, the safest way would be to fold it, but I think if you've got loops, just make sure they're big loops, okay? And the last thing is the lunge whip. We always have the tail lower than the handle. If you're going to lunge quite a bit, I don't know if you can see me quite here, we just rest that on our arm, and then that way we can lunge all day and not have to get a sore wrist. If we hold it like this, we end up getting a sore wrist. So we just pop that under our arm, on our hip, and we can pretty much lunge all day. And if you do use the lunge whip, you keep the tail lower than the handle all the time. You don't want it up here and waving around. The horse gets quite upset if he sees something up in the air. He wants to put his head up in the air and have a look at it. So keep the tail below the handle, and it should be used in a horizontal motion, not a vertical motion. Hopefully those tips have helped you and will help you be safer and make it a little bit easier for your horse, because they're not going to be as confused by your aids. Be quiet, be efficient with your horse, let them know, and be very clear with your aids and what you're doing with your horse. And hopefully that helps. And remember, I'm on Horse Chats, so have a listen, go onto Apple iTunes or wherever you download your podcast from, type in Horse Chats and then just search there what you like, or go to horsechats.com and search for what you're looking for. If you're looking for, it doesn't matter what, you know, dressage, show jumping, trail riding, barrel racing, some veterinary advice, something about ulcers, just go and search in the search bar and you'll find something there. And also too, International Horse College. If you're looking for a career in horses, go to International Horse College, have a look at the many horse courses there. 15 accredited courses, but with the variety and with the electives, and we change those around, there's hundreds of different courses that you should find one to suit your needs. Thanks a lot, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Can't finish because I've got gloves on.